The Brady Bunch, and I would have finished it a couple days ago, but I finished it today, but this little gem came in. Death Race 2050. This is basically a sequel to the Death Race 2000, and this was just fantastic. I had when this came in, I had to watch it. I loved the original. I also love this one, and basically anything that Roger Corman makes is absolute pure gold. I just find his movies to be the top of the line entertainment. But anyway, I would like to make the 2050 cars. I think they were fantastic in the show, and in 2050 they also had an AI car, which is an artificial intelligence racer, which I liked it real well. It was just a fantastic show, so that kind of put a damper on. After I watched that, I had to do a lot of research, try to figure out what they used and all that stuff. Anyway, that's another story for another day. The CUDA. I went back in and finished putting back the chrome. I put the license plates on. The back one here I had to trim just a little bit on each side and the bottom just to get to fit in the frame there. On the front one, I did get the front on. I think it's supposed to hit like right here on the bumper. This was just more sturdier, and I don't think it'll fall off. This time I super glued it, so we should be good to go. I'm pretty much I'm ready to send this on to its new home. Wish I could spin it around more. I had to have just a messy workbench. Didn't have my lazy Susan there to do it all, but should be ready to rock and roll. I did. There is a couple spots that's going to be a tad bit darker. Place up here where the tape, I guess I masked it off wrong and didn't see it, so I did a little dab brush work. Did that, and also on the front here, but it shouldn't really be noticeable, and it should be very filmable. So when it is filmed, shouldn't have no problem. Should stand out quite all right. But anyway, got the tape removed, and we should be ready to go on that. And I did finish the, I think I said last time, finished the Gran Torino. So these two will be off the bench today, and I'll have them wrapped up, and I'll send out the invoice, and it'll probably be out Monday morning. And for the, I'll call them turn signals, you're supposed to have orange and red. Instead of painting them actual solid orange and red, I did, wherever I got them, Tamiya Clear here, which gives it a hint of it, and that's pretty much all I can do. If one day you want to improve it, you can always get you some red paper or orange paper and just cut it out and glue it on if you want them to stand out, But anyway, that's just off the top of my head. But anyway, the Brady Bunch CUDA done, and the Gran Torino done as well. The GTR, I'm done painting with all the reds, so I am good to go on that. I'm ready to start assembling. I didn't get the motor done because I was watching. I was going to paint it this week, but Death Race 2050 came along, and that kind of put a damper on everything. But today I went ahead and masked off the back bumper, which is supposed to be black on the lower edge here. I still got a little more to paint to do. I always like to paint just a little bit in sections. Painted these go on the side on the bottom, and I guess little rails. Them are flat black, so I got them painted black. I don't know what it's called, but the window washer arm housing that goes right here, I got it painted black, and I got I'll probably shoot the wipers black because they'll look more realistic flat black than they will with the plastic black. And I just got to start assembling, putting in pieces that I don't have to paint, and that's my game plan on that. Anyway, we're starting assembling, and we should be ready to putting some pieces on. Plus I got to test fit a few things. I don't know exactly how. The instructions are kind of clear, kind of vague, but anyway, I won't glue that until I test fit, make sure it does fit. But anyway, we're doing a little detail painting, and then start assembling, and then hopefully get it all together and be able to rock and roll. The Hearse. One thing I did do is I did get the motor done, but I got to make a, let me put here on the rocket. One of the fan blades broke off, and I didn't see it in the box. I looked. I'll be able to, I'm just going to take some styrene, basically that, and I'll just trim one out and glue it on. I also glued it up. I glued it facing down, so when it's inside the motor, you won't really see it. And my little cheap fan blade will be just as good as the original one. But anyway, I got the motor done, and it's actually pretty detailed. I'll say this: I like 60s style car kits from the 60s because they actually they don't have a whole lot of parts. That's the one thing that I like. I mean, they're not overly complicated. They got a lot of parts, but not either. And the detail on here is just absolutely fantastic. I can't remember what does the header say. Come on, focus. Oh well, that won't. But anyway, the engine's done, and I started on the dash and the seats, and I basically got the back of the seat glued together, trying to sand the top here and getting the dash in. The dash has actually got a lot of detail on it as well. I mean, for the age of the kit and for the time, I think it's just great. But anyway, got the dash on, and basically what I got to do next is gas pedal, brake, and the steering wheel, and I think and a little back thing here. And then once I get that on, I'll probably I'll start working on the chassis and try to do it where I'm basically going to paint it all one color and just do a little bit of dry brushing, because you're not going to see a whole lot of the chassis part and or certain things that are hid. But anyway, that is done on the Hearse. Up next for the Build for Others, I'm going to repaint and I don't remember the name, I'll have to look it up again. This is a race car, and it's a resin body, and basically it's going to be white and it's going to be red, but there's a couple of imperfections on here that I got to sand out, and I started sanding the top here. It's just basically where the paint and wanted to bubble up, and I'll try to explain on resin bodies here. So first time when you get a resin body, you wash it and then shoot it with primer, and then sometimes, and it happens to me, if you spray, do I have one handy? Well, we'll just pretend. Yep. You spray an enamel onto a primer body of a resin car, for even starships and everything else, it'll want to bubble up, and it just screws it up. One thing I found is if you take a lamp like this, that's actually it will produce a lot of heat, but not like a heat lamp. Turn that on. You don't want to melt the resin body. You just basically want to set it on the table, let it get really hot, spray your primer, and it'll basically fuse to it, and then let it sit for a day or two, and then go back in with your enamel and do the same thing. Let the primer and the resin car bake under the light, and then once that gets hot enough, you shoot your enamel paint, and everything should stick and cure. Now, not all the time, but it does happen. The paint will react. I don't, even to this day, I really can't explain a lot of it, but it does happen to me too. And so usually what I do, since they have acrylic paint like Tamiya's or Vallejo over there, or even Anita's, I usually just primer the body, find the acrylic color of the paint, for the enamel version, and I usually spray the car with acrylic. This way, it's water based and it won't affect the paint won't shrivel up and all that good stuff. Anyway, that's what I want to do on that. So I'm going to do a little sanding. I'm going to get most of the imperfections out. If I miss one, it probably because I'm just going to. I don't think I can fix it to a point. There's a little bit on the bumper I won't be able to fix, but I'll get most of the major ones on the hood and back here on the sides, and we'll be ready to paint it red and white for painting purposes. The Enterprise. I'm actually going to start putting a LED. I just taped one in there. So basically going to be two cool white LEDs. I'm not going to drill out all the other holes or the arboretum. I don't. It's just too much trouble, and really don't need to have too much lighting. You know, take away. Just kind of want to keep it simple. And I'm going to do it this way, where it keeps it simple, and I mean, it's not 100% accurate, but we're not going for that, so I think that'll work out. Anyway, I'm going to try to get the lights in here. I want to get it pretty much wired so I can get the other part on here, and I can get the brass tubing, which I've done. I'll do a shed update on these. I'll mention that later on. Where is it? There it is. Got to do some telescoping. I actually got one of them cut out here, and I screwed up. I forgot to cut it at an angle, so I cut them straight. So I got to pull this off, cut out a new one, and cut them at a 45 or a 90, whatever it is, and get that squared away so it actually fits flush up against the this part right here once it gets flush there. But anyway, that's my game plan. Again, I was getting ready to, I actually got one cut, then Death Race came out, and I had to watch it. But anyway, more on the rocket later. Had to reglue a couple things, but we are good to go on it. So that's what I have got going on today. We are getting ready to paint and assemble the GTR. We got the engine built on the Hearse. I'm going to start painting the little race car here. We finished up the Gran Torino. We finished up the Brady Bunch CUDA. So that's what I got going on today. I should have a shed update later on, and stay tuned for the next exciting episode.